Hi, my name is Rick Attard. I'm a student pilot with Gold Coast Sports Flying Training, and this is a short video of my first 3-axis solo. That's Chris, you can see outside. He's just exited the plane and he's making his way to the runway because he's going to do some filming from the ground. So I thought I'd put this video together to tell you what was going through my mind and what I was doing during my first solo, and maybe it can help you before you go to do yours. So here I've put in a taxi call, taxiing to runway 28, and while I'm taxiing I keep my hand on the brake in case I need to stop suddenly. So before entering and lining up on the runway, I stop short, and this is a good place to do your pre-takeoff checks. You won't see me doing them here because I've already done them, but what I do need to do is take a deep breath and think about what's going to transpire. So remember, before you enter and line up, or enter and roll as the case may be, have a good look to the left for any oncoming bananas that are coming in on final and haven't put in a radio call. Check that it's clear to enter and line up. You remember the sequence, it's full throttle, 1 and 2 and 3, back pressure on the control lever and plenty of right rudder. So I'm entering and rolling, and here we go, back pressure and full throttle, 1 and 2 and 3, full throttle there, get the nose wheel off the ground and plenty of right rudder to keep us straight, and there I'm off the deck. Now I make a mistake here, I take my hand off the throttle to adjust the flaps. Don't do that, keep your hand on the throttle. So from the ground it should look something like this.
Wow, that's a real short takeoff.
Yeah, you'll do a short takeoff too when you're the only one in the aircraft. Okay, so my hand on the throttle where it's supposed to be. I've got a nice positive angle of climb, healthy angle of attack, so I can see where I'm going. Airspeed is good, and I'm chasing 300 feet, and there we are. Now I can remove flaps. So I picked a spot in the distance, and I'm heading for it to keep a straight line. So I'm chasing circuit height here, 1,000 feet, and I'm doing this on this leg of the circuit. You don't have to, you could turn earlier and chase 1,000 feet on your crosswind leg. I chose to do it this way. I'm almost at 1,000 feet now, making my crosswind turn. Okay, so I've backed the throttle off, chasing 4,000 RPM, and then I'll just trim accordingly. Pick a spot in the distance again, line yourself up so that you're at right angles to the runway. And again, you don't have to chase 70 knots, but I did. I got 70 knots speed early so that I can do my pre-landing checks early, and that gives me plenty of time. So on the downwind leg now, line the tip of my wing up with the runway, pick a spot in the distance, head for it, and now I can start doing my pre-landing checks. I'm just turning off the taxi light and putting the landing lights on. Adjusting my heading a little bit there, and if you have a look there, I'm selecting flaps 1. So I'm at 70 knots, adjust trim, as required. And if you have a look on the left wing, you can see the hangers in the distance there from this camera angle. The wing's just about to go over them. So I've set everything up early. So now I've got plenty of time to get my head right, to think about my landing. I'm ahead of the aircraft. It's important to keep your head out of the cockpit. Look outside. Look into the cockpit, check your airspeed, altitude, revs, and that all your instruments are in the green, and then straight back out. Just adjusting trim a little bit there. And that's what I mean. I've given myself plenty of time to make any small adjustments I need to at this point. So I'm looking for that 45-degree angle to the wing, to the runway, so that I can make my base turn. And here we go. Put in a radio call, turning base, runway 28, full stop, and selecting flaps 2. Now I've backed the power right off here, and adjusting trim. So don't be afraid to back the power right off. See what the aircraft does. If it's descending at a rate that you're happy with, all well and good. If not, just add a little power. Remember to do a clearing look to the right for any other bananas that are coming in on final that haven't put in a radio call. Okay, there's a turn on to final now, so I'm lining up with the runway and keeping her straight and level. And I've got very busy feet here, so this is where I'm making most of my adjustments now. You can't see that, of course, but my toes are really busy, and they're small inputs, but they're regular. Just to get that nice straight line. It's about to line up right here. You can see on the dashboard the compass is lining up with the runway. So I've picked a spot halfway up the runway now, and I'm heading for it. Power's right off. Getting ready to put a bit of back pressure on the control lever. So here we go. Okay, looking long now. Back pressure's on. Keep the nose wheel off the ground. Hold off, hold off, hold off. Looking long. Hold off. There, the back wheel's touching. Nose wheel's still off the ground. And there's the nose wheel just touched then. So it should look like this.
Cut his power.
And then just keep it straight on the runway. And gentle pressure on the brake to pull her up slowly. Choose a spot that you want to turn around if you're going to backtrack, otherwise use the taxiways to exit. And once you've chosen a spot not too far off the runway, radio call to say you're backtracking on 28 and a nice sharp turn. Taxi back briskly to free up the runway sooner than later. And if you're going to go around again like I do, remember to adjust your flaps. There we go there. Before you cross the intersection of the runway, have a good look left and right in case any bananas are coming in on the alternate runway and haven't put in a radio call. And if you're going around again, just exit the runway, do a quarter turn and stop short. Do your checks again, take another breath and off you go. So that's all I've got for you. I hope this helps you in some way. You can contact me if you have any questions. Chris has my number. I'm happy for him to give it out to you. All the best with your flying training and your solo, and happy flying. Bye for now.